Hello guys, welcome back to the show. The Food Dude here, and this might not be a secret for some of you, but I am Mexican. And as such, I need my regular intake of tacos, burritos, enchiladas, and all these beautiful things that sometimes it's hard to find around outside Mexico. So I've given myself the task to try to replicate as best as I can those flavors and the original dishes that I had growing up. And one of the biggest challenges has been always the cheese, especially since I'm trying to go the vegan way with cheese lately. However, I found a few recipes that I'm gonna start sharing with you from now in the future, and I'm gonna be calling them the Cheeze Sequels of the Food Dude. And one of the main ingredients that you're gonna find in these recipes is nutritional yeast, which is gonna be the main focus of today's video. Nutritional yeast, if you've never seen it before, it looks something like this. It's just yellow flakes that they actually smell very cheesy. And don't worry, I know the name is really off-putting, nutritional and yeast. Nutritional sounds like the consolation prize for something that's gonna taste horrible, and yeast, well, it's not something that sounds like it's gonna be very tasty. However, don't worry about the name and just focus on finding it. Where can you find it? Find it on health food stores. It's getting way easier to find now than it was before. And it's great to see because it is actually a really good condiment that you can have in your diet. One of the benefits of it is that it's a complete protein, and so it has the 9 amino acids that your body cannot produce, the essential amino acids. So that's a big plus right there. And sometimes it comes fortified with B12, like it has the whole spectrum of your B vitamins, and also has B12, which is really important for vegans. The recipe of today is gonna be a melted yellow cheese that I'm gonna be using for nachos and for tacos and on corn, which is one of the things that I love the most growing up. And the recipe for the cheese is actually quite easy and it tastes amazing. So the main ingredient, as I say, is gonna be your nutritional yeast. And we're gonna be using tamari, which tamari, it looks and tastes a lot like soy. However, it doesn't have any gluten. So if you're celiac, tamari is your way to go. I just particularly prefer the taste of tamari, so that's why I'm gonna be using it today. Also, I'm gonna be using a coconut milk, which I actually keep in the fridge. So the whole tin is in the fridge for a few days or just a few hours, just to solidify it a little bit, and that's gonna help with the creaminess of the cheese. And just a pinch of paprika, just because I like it a little bit spicy. If you don't like spicy things, you can get rid of the paprika. Now, the other ingredients I have set here is gonna be for the scrambled eggs, because I'm gonna make scrambled egg tacos. Another hard to find ingredient, and which is crucial for tacos, is tortillas. I'm lucky enough to be in a place where I can find these international food markets, and they have usually Mexican food in the Asian food aisles, because Mexico is in Asia. But anyway, no complaints from me because the tortillas are actually quite great. If you can't find them, usually you can find the hard shell tortillas, which is not really what I like because that's more like the American Mexican food, the Tex-Mex food. So I don't really go for those, but if that's all you can find, then go for those. And I'm gonna be using tofu, just regular tofu, firm tofu. I'm gonna be using some vegan sausages, tofurkey, turmeric, garlic, tomato, and I'm gonna make some guacamole as well. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we have all the ingredients ready, and my goal is going to be to fill this little container of yellow melted cheese that I'm gonna be using for the nachos and the tacos and everything. So there is not really a set amount that you have to use, so I'm just gonna be using, the intuitive cooking section of this class, and I'm gonna be adding tablespoons of yeast, and then I'm gonna be adding the coconut cream, which as I was saying is now solidified because it was in the fridge. And I'm gonna be adding, portions of tamari, and you'll see how the yeast reacts to the moist because I'm gonna be using a little bit of hot water as well. So you'll see how the yeast start to expand and get cheesy and melty, and I'm gonna be keep stirring it, which is quite important. So let's give it a go. All right, so we start by heating up the pan, and we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And then I'm gonna add a couple of tablespoons of the coconut cream. She's completely solidified here. Right. And then just to make things a little bit quicker, I'm gonna add some hot water that I had prepared here. Just a tiny bit. You don't want to soak it too much. You want to make it like a gradual process here. And then as things start to heat up, I'm just going to start stirring the mix. And I have it in medium heat, so try not to be too hot, otherwise things can spiral out of control very quickly. Because as you can see, the yeast are reacting immediately to the moist and the cream and the water. So the secret here is just to keep stirring for a little while. And this is when I'm going to start adding the tamari. How much tamari? Well, depends how much saltiness you want in your cheese. That's how much I'm going to put right now. Because tamari can be quite salty. And I'm going to keep stirring. Just dissolving all the lumps. And this is when I'm going to add a pinch of paprika. Okay, now I'm noticing that the cheese is a little bit too runny. So now I'm going to add more nutritional yeast. A couple more spoons. And let's keep stirring. And this is what I mean. You are in control of the consistency, of the ratios, of the flavors as well. So if you want more saltiness or spiciness, you can add more tamari. You can add any other spices that you might come up with. Alright, I think this is the right consistency for me. As you can see, if I scratch the bottom of the pan, I can see it. So it's not completely runny and watery. It's very creamy right now. So I'm gonna stop the stove and I'm gonna pass it onto my container. Check it out. Now you can use this cheese for macaroni and cheese, for pasta, for popcorn, for anything that you can think of. Okay, now that we have the cheese made, I'm gonna make the scrambled tofu eggs that I'm gonna be using for the tacos. And I'm gonna be showing you the way I do it as I go. We're going to start by adding the tofu. I'm just gonna break it in smaller pieces. Then I'm gonna add a couple of sausages. Tofurky vegan sausages, a diced tomato. I'm gonna add some garlic. I'm gonna be adding a little bit of nutritional yeast to this as well. And 1 or 2 tablespoons of turmeric. And because I'm using nutritional yeast again, I'm gonna add a little bit of water to start making the yeast a little bit creamy. And last but not least, I'm gonna add a little bit of pesto. I know pesto is not Mexican, but you know, it's awesome. Alright, and while the eggs cook, I'm gonna show you my kombucha brewing corner. How you guys going with the kombucha? Did you make your own? I haven't found anything better than jasmine, so if you have anything you want to suggest, let me know. Okay, scrambled tofu made, and I have put them into their tortillas, so now they're ready to become officially tacos. And this is where it gets interesting. I'm gonna put the melted cheese that we made previously. And last but not least, don't forget the green salsa if you like spicy food. I promise I'll get around to show you a beautiful recipe for green salsa in the future. And lastly, why not? Yeah, I made some corn as well, some boiled corn. And I'm just gonna be using the cheese that we made previously with a little bit of salsa as well. Alright, so Mexican food is ready. I hope you liked, I hope you try it at home. It's really easy as you can see, so no big science behind it. And I'm gonna be keeping you posted, as I say, with the cheesy chronicles of the food dude. So next time I might have another cheese recipe for you. Okay guys, have a great one and I'll see you next time.